YouTube, welcome back to the Meta Weekly, where we are advancing into the top 8 grand finale and top deck list. We are going to be starting this off with Grand Magus. If you missed out on the top 16 video of Grand Magus getting to the top 8, make sure you watch that. It was a great match. And by watching as long as you can, by even having us on in the background while you're doing laundry or working out, that greatly supports these videos through the algorithm. Thank you very much. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
We have Vian on summon, sending from the deck as the Ash Blossom negates. Is Ash actually a good negate on Vian? I'm not sure if I agree with that. I would say Imperm is very good on Vian, as it will negate both of the effects of sending and also searching for the polymerization. We're going to use the Cross Crusader to not only reborn, we could also tribute to search our deck for a hero. That hero of choice will be the Plasma, which will only be negating one side of the field, completely negating their side. It's just like a skill drain. If they activate a monster effect and then chain an effect to get it off the field, or if the monster tributes itself part of its activation, Plasma will not negate. But if you do that, I will then finger you with my Call by the Grave. Now, in addition to the skill drain negate-alike effect of Plasma, we have the non-target poppage of DPE, plus we have the Ash Blossom negating an interaction with the deck, and also Max C, in addition to the Call by the Grave, which I'm not counting as a form of disruption here. Maybe I should. Let's do that. Call by the Grave as our fourth form of disruption. Bonfire searching for the Max C, as the Max C has successfully resolved. We are, whoa, that was wild. The turn ended, and DPE died through Fusion Destiny's effect. I summon Ash, I'm negated. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna summon a Rosalago, gets negated. Sylvia can negate under the effect of Plasma, but the DPE would just pop in response to us activating the search. So I guess it just wasn't, well, why not just surrender, I guess, right? What the heck are we even doing? Plasma just auto won. Plasma FTK. Reinforcement of the Sky Strikers grabbing an Elemental Stratos. I guess now it's enough. Yeah, that was too much. The animation of reinforcement of the army for game. Will Ash and Maxi be good enough? Well, we already have Ash to negate Maxi, as we are playing the Kashtira field spell searching for a unicorn. Before it's special summon, we're going to activate the Maxi, getting negated by the Ash. Negate. We have two lines. We got Engraver and Bonfire and one Ash. That's a problem. And with that, what's our current? Whoa! We have a lot of disruption here, but we have the Dark Ruler no more to negate the 3 disruption on the Apollo, negate the Flame Burst from reborning the Masquerena, but there's a problem, big problem with that, and that is the Divine Temple is a second way to get to the Masquerena. And we're already in the standby phase where the Flame Burst has not yet activated to summon the Masquerena on field to ensure that it would get hit by the Dark Ruler no more. And of course, there is Engrave a Promethean Princess, which will dodge the Dark Ruler, and the Ash Blossom, which will dodge the Dark Ruler. And then maybe the Masquerena with the field spell, which could dodge the Dark Ruler for a total of 4 disruption through a Dark Ruler. What's gonna happen? Well, they did not summon Masquerena, so the Dark Ruler is not going to be negating it. Unfortunately, we have 4 disruption, even through a Dark Ruler, as this only stops 3. Buy-in into the Ash. Now, the Divine Temple chain link blocks the Ash, so you have to choose. You can't do both. You can't Divine Temple and Ash, so we had to say no, and then Ash the Vian. So we're at triple disruption, potentially. Battle, kill the Apollo. We deal no battle damage, of course. End our turn. Okay. Interesting. I mean, it's public knowledge. We know this is connected to Masquerena. We know that the Promethean is ready to be activated, so activating it early is no good. But there's also we could have done a different play instead of this. We could have hit the surrender button, which actually I think would have made more sense. Yeah, this is over. We have Requiem summoned from the deck, and Engraver, equip onto the Engraver, forcing the use of the mash change. Didn't even bother. Wow. And now we just walk away, I guess. You know, Jaden, it's been fun. Big fan of GX. It's pretty cool. And let's now end the duel, yes? As we now have lethal damage. Rip Jaden TTK, who is known as being a top-tier Pendulum player. Even he has joined the dark side of playing Snake Eye Fiendsmith. Begin. Huh? What happened? Wait, heroes past turn 1. Didn't this happen in another duel? Oh my goodness, no. You can't pass with Ash? What the? You opened up Elemental Hero Neos? And you didn't search the Plasma? And you have no way to get Malicious Engrave? Bonfire negated. And we got full combo with Deception. If not, we have full combo with Original Sinful. So if we had another Ash that was somehow activatable, let's say an Ogre to stop that, yeah, they would still have full freaking combo. We needed 3 hand traps to stop this. Even with 3 hand traps, we'd have some Kashtira's on the field. Oh boy. 6,800 with the Sylvia being able to negate. Even if we feel no delay here, we want 8,000 damage plus 19. So we do want 9,900 damage to be safe. 10,000. There you go. Now we could end the duel, ensuring that the Sylvia would be able to negate whenever they were to activate. If they have a second Bestial, the field spell would trigger off the second Bestial, reborning the Snake-Eyed Diabstar, which could push that Bestial into the back row if it were to be, let's say, a Druid Swarm. And just like that, the hero's journey has ended. Grand Magus, I appreciate you greatly. Thank you very much for joining the event. Max C in the standby phase as the Ash is going to negate. Negate the C. And activating a Maxi in the standby phase is more correct than the draw phase because a lot of people are activating their effects in the draw phase to play around Droll. So you get more information on what they have and don't have by making their plays within the draw phase. And then once you're in the standby, just smack them at the C. It is more tiresome to have to wait for the standby phase instead of just dropping it in the draw phase. I do understand that. It can be annoying. We have 1-2 banishes with the Masquerena into Little Knight play, triple monster negate with the Apollo USA, as we then have a 6th form of disruption with the Promethean Princess, 7 with the Droll and Lockbird. We do have a cross-out designate to help against the Droll at least. 7 versus 5 cards. And you drew the Fool Lost going second. Good job. As we'll draw a single card from Masquerena going into a Little Knight. Or not. It ate a disruption. Okay. That's good. From 7 to 6. Well, now, Fiendsmith tracked into the Lurie. Discard the Lurie. Are we going to use Droll? We are going to Droll. We Drollin'. As we cross out Designate, negate the Droll. Now, could we have Apollo'd and Drolled? Yes. You could Apollo negate Lurie and add a Droll to it. The Droll chainlink blocks the Apollo. Apollo does not chainlink block the Droll. Droll does not need to be a direct chain. We are into the Requiem. I guess how many disruptions we're at now? We have the Apollo negating the Requiem as we have 1 more negate plus Masquerena into the Promethean. 4 disruption left. Tribute off the Diablo Star to grab from the deck the Hollowed Azamina, which we need these sinful spoils to be sent to the grave to fusion summon with the Hollowed Azamina, and the Little Knight's going to be summoned off of the Masquerena, which would then banish away our sinful spoils. Thus, we're left with just a Hollowed Azamina with no legal activation, we surrender. Hollowed Azamina shotgunning that card right away as the Ash Blossom negates the Maxi. Not today, Mugiwara. We do have triple Monster Negate plus double Banish with a Little Knight play. The Promethean is dead. And yeah, there's no... We could turn it on by making a Hida, but then we're going to lose a Disruption to instead make a Promethean. So it could 4 to 5 Disruption. We don't even have Hida. Engraver. We're not going to negate with Apollo. We're going to Droll, though, because the Tract now is not activatable. Well, you played under Droll by summoning a Diablo Star, so we're going to do it ourselves. Diablo Star, come forth. If we had a Poplar, we could have sent Poplar to Chainlink block the Diablo Star from being negated by the Apollo USA. That would have been a really good play. And if you were to do that, the Little Knight would have then banished you anyway. Damn. 1-1. Let's hop into game 3. I think Lacrima, in a way, makes Master Duel overall less balanced, but more diverse. So at the cost of a more balanced format, we have more diversity, which then gives you the illusion of a more balanced format through unbalanced to achieve that. Maybe that's just the way of Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes? You have Divine Temple equipping into the back row. Come forth, Link Karibo. We are ready with the Infinite Impermanence. When do you save it for? All these plays, you're going to want to wait for the sequence. Imperm the sequence would be the way. Now, you don't draw from the summoning from the back row. You do get to draw from the extra deck or deck. So we're going to be ending likely on a Sylvia, then passing. We can preemptively imperm the Sylvia within our turn to turn off your negate. Or we could call for the Great Finger you. We're going to hold on to the finger because we don't know what's in your hand. Maybe it's a hand trap. As we now go through our play, as we have no Promethean Princess in graveyard, nothing. So where previously the Droll was supposed to end the turn, the card that properly ended the turn was Fool Loss. Fool Loss does do that. The necessity of using Fool Loss within your deck has definitely risen. It is much more feasible, it's much better, it's much more prevalent, it's much more necessary to play Fool Loss than it was before the Fiendsmith engine. You need it. And even though I did tell a returning player or a new player earlier that they don't need it, technically you don't, but you do get better with it. We are sequencing. Sequence is going to be fusing with the graveyard as the opponent has 0, nothing, nada, disruption. So can we brute force deal at least 6,800 damage to then main phase 2 burn with Lacrima for game? Let's find out. As we make our Beatrice, send an Ash from the deck, make our Promethean Princess, reborn, the Ash, burn for 1,200. How nice of you to burn within main phase 1, not main phase 2. Grabbing the Poplar, Poplar trigger, come forth and summon. If we have a Doom Dragon, it's even easier to lethal damage. Do we have a Doomed? We do. Doomed will be pushing one of the monsters back. Flameburge will be pushing one of the monsters back. We are going to grab your Snake-Eyed Diablo Star. We have 2 Diablo Star. We have the Doom Dragon. Get pushing back. You also get to trigger the Snake-Eye Ash, which could add a Poplar that is in the graveyard, so it will not add a Poplar, meaning we're not going to have another body. We're going to be triggering the Promethean Princess, also triggering our Divine Temple to steal the monster that we pushed into your back row. Ash add Oak, which is not going to be summonable here. Thank you for your Moon of the Closed Heaven. As we now have our Promethean Princess. Only 14,000 damage on the field as we attempt to push the Snake-Eye Ash into the back row as the Link Karibo gets fingered. And just like that, the best deck with the best turn 1 and arguably one of the better turn 2s. I can't say the best because Tenpai is still better going second. Damn. Lethal damage, tons of damage, advancing into the top 4. This is a good thing. We want all the Snake Eye Fiendsmith players to be knocking each other out. Get each other out of here so we could have a better top 4 maybe, yes? We're going to set up the Clockwork Knight, which then turns all monsters on the field to machine. And if you're a machine, how are you summoning a Fiendsmith sequence? You can't. If you're a machine, how are you summoning your Requiem? You can't. If you're a machine, what is that? I think that's pretty much all of it, right? Yeah. So it does help counter Fiendsmith. Iron Thunder. If you activate a card in the field, we will negate and destroy that card and the column. The field spell column has been destroyed. Solemn Judgment. Negate the normal summon of the Magical Musketeer Starfire, which we would have cross out designated in her column to then trigger her effect to summon a Magical Musketeer from the deck. Good negate. It does make sense. T-set. We have the Azure Rune at 1800 attack. Sure. Uh-oh, it now can't be summoned until we veil or negate the barrier statue, which states that only water monsters can be summoned. Now, we can Azure Rune summon itself here, but we could just attack over it. We are boosted by 500 as they are reduced by 500. Oh my gosh, this is just pathetic. Clockwork Knight actually putting in so much work. Not only the benefit of turning them into machine, turning off the ability of being able to summon the Fiendsmith cards, it's also that plus 1000 essentially a boost is crazy. Now the Azure Rune states that the monster destroyed by battle that destroys this by battle will then destroy the opposing monster. So we could have swung the Azure Rune into an attack position barrier, which would have been a way to take it out. Setting the Magical Musketeer as it's no longer a light fiend, it is a light machine, and now you're a ball. Tribute 3 of the opposing monsters for the Sphere Mode Raw. Sphere Mode Raw then returns to my side of the field during the opponent's end phase. Thank you very much. Let's start beating them down, and maybe I should speed this up. Oh boy, every card sent to the graveyard that is a monster will also be banished, which is, funnily enough, the least of their problems. The barrier statue is the big one. Pot of Duality. Can we add on top of that a Mirror Force, a telegraphed Mirror Force? Hi, I'm adding Mirror Force to my hand. Okay, now you know I have a Mirror Force. And what are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Now Ash is, you think she's 1800 defense, but she's not. She is reduced by the Clockwork Knight, unfortunately. Oh my goodness, we can't add Lurie to discard it. It will get banished. We could still add a Light Fiend though, to set onto the field. Ooh, that's enough D. That's a big D. 2000 D. Sebek is big enough to kill that D. Wow. What the heck, Sebek is a water. And we're gaining life? What the heck? Gain life when you inflict damage to your opponent? Okay. How do we just know who to attack with? We knew to make a Sebek to kill the Musketeer, and we knew when to swing with the, can you see their face down cards or something? What's going on? How do you know it's face down? I mean, he did search it, to be fair. He searched it with the tracts. Sebek is burning for lethal damage. Sebek for game. Wow. What a crazy duel. Let's hop into game number 2. Speed this up. Stun does not play hand traps. They're not cringe. We got the Fiendsmith Sanct. Summon a token, turn it into a Requiem. Requiem into Engraver. Engraver reborn from Engrave. Normal summon the Ash into a Silhouette Rabbit. Silhouette Rabbit against stun is pretty good. It's going to be able to destroy back row cards by summoning the Azure Rune. Evolzer Lars could potentially also be, there could have been 3 bodies on the field. That would have been a problem. Now, this special summon, when your opponent would summon, we could special summon this card, special summon this card. We got to make sure that they're not going to Sphere Mode Raw our field with the Azure Rune. So we got to be careful on when we want to summon this. Now, these Volzar Lars will be able to negate a card, but can't negate Solemn Strike, can't negate Solemn Judgment, can't negate Iron Thunder. We could negate Mirror Force or a Fairy Tale Luna, and if we try to negate the Mirror Force, the Solemn Strike will strike us down and negate us. Let's go. Fairy Tale Luna searching for another Luna with the quick effect to negate. We're attempting to negate the Silhouette Rabbit, and now does the Volzar Lars negate and destroy? It will negate and not destroy. Okay, I'm now going to go into a Typhon. Typhon is here. We're going to Azure Rune, which could have stopped the Summon of the Typhon to trigger the Silhouette Rabbit to then pop a back row Solemn Strike as we detach, spin back the Silhouette, and wipe out the Volzar Lars. Oh, this is not looking good for Ami. We have negate a summon, negate anything on the field, Mirror Force an attack. Holy crap. Max C. This could just be negated by Solemn Judgment if we want to. That was just for trolling. Making a Requiem. We're going to Engraver, Reborn itself back onto the field here. Got to be careful on when we want to use our cards. We're going to activate the Fusion Summon. Now, we cannot Solemn Judgment the Fiendsmith Tract. We also could not Solemn Judgment the Lacrima. Lacrima activating with nothing Chainlink blocking it. The Iron Thunder is going to negate and destroy the Lacrima. And this is very good. When you are playing against stun, that could be playing Iron Thunder, you have to summon your monsters and activate your card effects in a column that is in the same one as one of their back row cards, because goodbye to Solemn Judgment. The Fiendsmith Sanct is going to trigger to reset itself back onto the field here. We have Luna, which continually recycles herself to grab another Luna. Thankfully, we have the Call by the Grave to finger the Engrave Luna. Now, Luna's going to be able to quick effect negate a monster on the field, unless they could send a monster with the same name from the deck or extra deck to the grave. Will that actually work out as we instead go into a Little Knight? Little Knight, banish away the Fiendsmith Engraver Engrave, say goodbye to you, as we do not have another one. Now, the Requiem needs to be in the extra deck to be used with the Sanct, but Engrave, it would have been returned back with the Engraver that just got banished. Unicorn into Solemn Strike, not only negating a monster effect, but it could also negate a summon. This is absolute devastation. We have a Solemn Judgment, not caring about what our life points is. Whatever it is, it's going to be half our life to negate a summon, spell, or trap card activation. We have Ghost Spell, that's no good. Sanct is going to summon a token, as we do have another copy of Requiem. We play more than one. Okay. As we now go into our Little Knight. Now, Little Knight on summon, its entire summon is going to be noped out of existence. Negate. We're at 1250 with 1600 on field. I think that is a 2-0 victory. Diavolo with the smiley face, stunning his way to the grand finale potentially. Can anyone stop him? This is not good. This is not good. If Diavolo wins the tournament, this is going to destroy the ladder. Even more so than it is. We have Ogre and Nibiru. As the Reinforce the Army grabs our Neo Space Connector, are we going to be able to play through this? The Neo Space Dolphin is going to be looking at the hand to delete the Ogre. So we may as well use the Ogre if it's about to get deleted. Can it delete the Nibiru? No, it cannot. And it cannot also get rid of the Tour Guide since we don't have enough attack on the field. Why so? Let's see the forms of disruption we have here. We do have Charles the Great with the ability to negate any spell or trap card activation. We could, whenever we want, use Roland to equip onto the Charles the Great to then pop a card in the field. We do not have the Angelic Ring. We do have Dempsey, which could detach the Sharon to go into a fusion play. So that's about triple disruption plus the Droll and Lockbird, giving us 4 disruption plus the Fairy Tale Snow. With only 6 cards in the grave, it's going to be a bit difficult to make good use of the Fairy Tale Snow. We're going to have to ban some cards in the field, which could flip a card on the field face down, giving us 5 forms of disruption. Let's go. Tour Guide on Summon. We're going to be using the effect of Charles the Great on a separate chain link to be able to pop a card in the field. On the Resolution, we now Charles the Great, take out the Tour Guide Mate. Drew a Swarm, attempt to banish the Fairy Tale Snow. We're going to stop the summon by just summoning the Fairy Tale Snow by banishing the Droll and Lockbird, so we lost a disruption there. As the Snow on summon is going to get flipping down the Rhino. We do have the effect to fusion summon, right? I mean, we quick effect, detach, and then you can't be targeted. But we don't have anything to fuse with, right? The Sharon would need an Aqua monster. We don't have an Aqua. Now, this deck does play Pirelli, I think, or was that the other tier limit player? Museum. Every turn, we're going to be searching for the Joy Use. Durendal searching for the Oliver, which does deal with the Durendal itself. Everything in attack position. We know of that Drew Swarm. We're not surprised. But the Branded Beast will get negated. Emperor Charles the Great. Negate. Mate. Now, the Veiler is going to negate the negate. Ain't no way with this Snow not in the grave. We can't dodge the Veiler, thus we are negated. We're going to get destroyed, and the Drew Swarm will be triggering to send a monster on the field to the grave. Say goodbye to the token as we now make a Little Knight. Little Knight on summon is going to be banishing away the Branded Beast, thus we now cannot attack directly. With the Fiendish Rhino being sent to the grave, it will trigger to send from the deck to the grave a Lurie, which does nothing but fuel the grave of another, I guess, Light Fiend. We got Fua lost late to the party here, and all we now need is 8,000 for game. Ideally not using the extra deck, but we did not fire off the Fua loss early. We're just like, you know what? How about I just leave the duel? All right, let's hop into game 2. Neospace Connector into the Dolphin. Dolphin, take a look at the hand. It is the Ogre again. So instead of the Ogre being discarded, just activate the Ogre to pop the Dolphin. But now that we have the red layer on field, we can delete still nothing from the hand because nothing is 2,000 or lower. If there were a Tour Guide, we would have been able to delete it. Gear Blade being added back to the hand as we now go into I Sold. We know what their hand is. We saw it. So nothing is a surprise. We just have to carefully play under exactly what we know is there. As we go into Promethean Princess, we know that the Nibiru is activatable. Promethean, Reborn, the Ogier. Oliver is going to discard a card, special summon itself onto the field as we then get hit with that Nibiru. Tribute off the field. We also know that they have a Druid Swarm. And boy, I'm curious, is Zeus just fully maxed out Bestial, maxed out Nibiru, and that's enough to just want to go second? What other go second cards are you even playing? You have Tracked, adding a Lurie, discard the Lurie, Reborn the Lurie. Hovness is waiting for a monster effect to happen on the field. If it activates on field, we have to be the direct chain link, like a Requiem. Activate Requiem, we could chain Hovness if we want to, and we are. The problem is, if we mill a tier limit fusion trigger, the Bestial will then banish it. Instead, we have a Fairy Tale Snow, which will just wait for the activation of the Snow to then banish it, and then we'll activate Snow again, and then we'll banish it again, and then we'll activate Fairy Tale Snow again. Yeah, I guess that's happening right now, right? Double Snow, double Bestial, 14 cards banished. You will be banished. No more cards to banish for you. You're out of here. Wow. A costly Fairy Tale Snow that does stop the summon of one of our Bestials here. We're going to equip onto the Engraver. Engraver can now send the token to the grave. Do not want to send the Hovness by card effect. It would trigger to fuse with probably nothing. I don't think we have any. No, we couldn't even fuse the Hovness as we don't have anything else that's good to fuse with. Lacrima, Reborn. Think of Lacrima as 3,600 damage when dealing your damage. If we drop them down to 1,200, it is then over. It's over. That's game. 800 life, no bueno. Let's link this up into an Apollo USA, triggering Lacrima for game. Burn for 12. 1-1. FM is a go first deck. FM production should just choose to go first again. Even though we know that Zeus wants to go second, it's not going to change our mind on what we want to do, right? Or we want Zeus to go first. Let's see what happens. We did not max C. We do have Ogre. We had the Phantasme to trigger on the Link Summon. We got a Bestial. I mean, we got a lot of interactions. This is why Zeus is enjoying going second. This is not the first time we saw a Bestial Fiendsmith deck doing well in our tournament. Last week, Justinian was playing Bestial Fiendsmith. I'm sure Zeus's deck is actually a lot different. Main deck and cards like Phantasme is quite interesting. We have Call by the Grave fingering that Lubellion. And the Ghost Bell protects the card from being fingered. No finger for you. She blocks it with her dress. And just like that, we grab a Magna Hut from the deck. We do have Havnis, but again, Havnis gets countered by a Bestial. What the heck is going on? We mill 3. If we trigger a fusion, it gets banished by a Bestial. If it was a Fairy Tale Snow, it would get triggered by banished by a Bestial. Zeus, I gotta play your deck, man. I don't know why it's doing so well and why it just wants to go second. It's just working. It works well. I like it. I will be counting up all of your hand traps. I guess we can't count Phantasme as a hand trap when counting towards all the hand traps he's playing. I'm thinking at 40 cards, he's maybe 25 plus hand traps. That'd be way too much, right? There's no way. All the Bestials, Nibiru's, Phantasme, Bell, Ogre. Holy moly. I'm excited to see the list. Lacrima on summon is going to be reborning that Engraver as we now go into the Wave King Caesar. Tour guided up. Tour guide from the deck into the Rhino. Let's now make our Apollo USA with the triple monster negate. Trigger the Rhino, send from the deck a Lurie, which will help fuel our Fiendsmith plays. As we reborn our Engraver, banish with the Magna Hut. Got a lot of damage with just continually summoning a bunch of Bestials. A lot of card advantage if you're continually slowly disrupting your opponent in 1-for-1 disruptions as the regain keeps on drawing cards. You're just going to run your opponent dry as you continuously, endlessly draw every single turn with the regained. And you bet this deck's playing 3 Lubellion. It's got to be. Lina is here, but is not able to point to a monster zone to summon. But we're just triggering the Lacrima for game. Damn. The deck just works, and it works incredibly well. So well that I'm excited to watch it in the top 4 right here, right now, but it's against stun. Zeus against stun? Bestials against stun? Is that going to work out? Let's find out. We're going to Commandant, search for a nothing as the Ash Blossom negates. It would have been a Necro Valley, which disallows players from touching the graveyard. No banishing or moving cards. And there's the border. It's over. Yup. GG, no monster effects. This will not, you can't trigger Lurie. You can't activate the Engraver. The Tract is going to fuse, though. Let's get fusing into Lacrima. We have 1 monster effect activatable. But the Iron Thunder, what did I say against stun? You gotta summon your cards in the columns. You summon it in the border column goes bye-bye to the border. The Thunder destroys the entire column. We could have deleted Solemn Judgment, 50-50 on the back row or 100% on the border. Well, we learn now. Too late, though. For game 2, we could take that knowledge, though. Oh, we got Almirage. Yep. Okay, Almirage is here. Cool. Into a barrier statue. No, you can't special summon except water monsters. Tour Guide can't even activate on summon. And if it could, we could Solemn Judgment, it's summon. Magna Hut is illegal. Can't special summon. We negated your summon anyway because you have the same attack as our barrier statue. Not cool. We got 3,000 damage though. We got a Sphere Mode Raw in case you actually had a good turn 1 play. Oh my goodness. Let's He's got the extra ray swinging in for some potential more damage. We got Fiendsmith, great against Link summoning, against a deck that does not perform Link summoning. Random Regain surely is going to be giving us good value, as every time a later Dark Monster is banished, we get to draw one. And we're going to need all those draws to compete with the endlessly +1ing of the Time-Tearing Morganite. So there's our Baldric to trigger the Regained, get that much-needed draw one. And we know that as soon as the opponent enters main phase 1, a barrier statue, a fossil Dyna can immediately be applying the effect of you cannot special summon. So we have to not wait on the Bystials. We have to use them as part of our combo. We got to summon them right then, right now. And boy, this is rough. Masquerena is main phase only. So if I summon Barrier Statue, you now can't Masquerena. You can't summon Druistorm because I control no monster, thus it's not a quick effect. Bruh. Summon Barrier, activate Time Tearing, Luna, and the barrier has hit the field. It's now over. It's over. That's it. Additional summon to Luna. It's over. It's over. Shotgunning into Hollowed Azamina. We got a Fua freaking loss. Are we gonna draw the Fua loss? This should be quite interesting, as we're not gonna draw it, I don't think so. I mean, we actually may still. We got Diablo Star plays. Could have drolled it, discard Imperm, and then, you know, that Poplar wouldn't add anything, Ash wouldn't add anything. So this is actually correct. Just hold on to the droll, Imperm, and Sylvia. We got triple disruption. Subversion. Push the Sylvia into the back row, or we just instead negate. Thus, we're left with 2 more forms of disruption. Crossout Designator should at least be able to negate the impermanence, maybe not the Droll and Lockbird. Imperm the Diablo Star, as it could search for the Deception Sinful. And notice how we did not even care to negate it because we have another play. We are going to send to summon the Ash. Ash on summon, add the Poplar. If you droll this, you are still going to get clapped massively. Will we even bother to cross out Designate? This does not mean that we don't play droll. This could just mean that I will still clap you up even through droll, as I have the cross out Designate for the final card in your hand. Let's speed this up. We're going to summon an Oak, summon Poplar from the graveyard, further linking this up into the Moon of the Closed Heaven, all under the effect of the Droll and Lockbird, as you can see it here in the lingering effect window. We are going to be equipping to then send the equip to summon the Flame. Hollowed Azamina, reveal the Rasalago. We are going into no hand traps whatsoever. We overlinked that, but I guess the bodies were getting we had too many bodies in the field. We wanted to ensure that we could trigger the Flame Burge and then still reborn the Flame Burge. So there you go, 3 bodies when we could have just used 2. Equip the Desiree with a sequence, further equipping it with the Requiem. We're going to negate the Promethean Princess. We're no longer locked in a fire, as we now make an Apollo USA. Flame Burge equip the Masquerena. And we got called by set. Let's see what our forms of disruption. We tried our best. We drew into Ash for the turn, and that's what happens. All right. How many times has someone drawn a hand trap in today's event? Many times while going second. They draw the hand, they draw the Ash, they draw the Maxi, they draw the Fool Loss. And this could be an argument for why you want to be putting in maybe more board breakers in your deck. A board breaker has that extra chance of drawing it for your turn of going second, where drawing a hand trap for your turn going second is going to be no good. Now, obviously, you're not replacing Ash, Maxi, or Fool Loss with a board breaker, as we now hop into game 3. Pressure Planet into the Kashtira. Kashtira is another card that, engine, I would say, that a lot of people are playing in today's event. What the heck? Turn 1 is this, TTK? What? Okay. We were under Duel, right? It looks like we were under Duel. So that's why we got a bit interesting here. Yeah, play around the Duel, right? We negated the Ash, then we got Dueled, and then we'd made this insane play of adding Ash from the deck to our hand under Duel. And with that, we have Max C plus the Ash Blossom, Fenrir Disruption, and a Promethean Princess. We have triple Disruption plus a Max C. The Beatrice is not going to be sending a card from the deck that turns into a Disruption. Let's see what's good. Called by the Grave, Fingering the Sea. You're out of here. And it is public knowledge that they do have the Ash Blossom. We still preferred, definitely, to be negating that Max C. We have all 3 disruptions. 3 cards versus 3 disruption. I think this is a fair duel. Bonfire, negated by the Ash Blossom. As we now follow up with the Diablo Star. Diablo Star triggering the Promethean Princess, as we just now have the Fenrir. And we have nothing, because what are we going to set? We set Deception, we have no monster to tribute. We set Original Sinful, we have nothing to send. Thus, TTK is going to be your champion, representing the entire community to face off against Stun. Are you ready? Begin. I played Marvel Rivals, I wasn't very good at it. We have Kashtira Fenrir is going to be searching for the unicorn, as we have the Birth to additional summon our unicorn. We do have the ability to negate 2 monster effects with the Masquerena, which is, I should say, the Apollo. No good. That's not going to help out. But depending on what Mr. Stun is playing in his extra deck, the Masquerena probably just turned on the Super Poly, which I would say it's reasonable for TTK to not expect this. Maybe, I don't know, man. This is quite nuts. If the Masquerena does not get super polyed, it very much wants to go into a Little Knight to banish a back row card. That's going to be immensely important. But if we shotgun normal summon the barrier statue, that's going to be a problem. But what may happen instead is super poly before the main phase, before the Masquerena is even activatable, to go into, I'm looking, yep, there it is. A Cyberse, Masquerena, a Link, Apollo USA. Apollo and Masquerena is the perfect fusion play for our Super Poly. And we do have to happen to have an extra Dimensional Fissure. Standby phase? Whoa, we're in the main phase. Okay. We're going to wait for it to activate. Sure. We're going to lull them into a false sense of security here, make them think they had a chance with the Masquerena instead of just super polying right away. It's quite cruel of Mr. Stun here. Wow. We're not. We're not? We're allowing this? This is cool? We cool with this? We're cool with this? What? Diabolo in chat says, I chained off by mistake. No way, man! What do you mean by mistake? Gia, check his PayPal right now. What the? It's fine, it's fine. We're stunned, we'll still win this, I think. Right? Okay, we have another one. Now, well, Super Poly. Bro, we deleted Solemn Judgment. Okay. Poplar is here. I mean, they did get banished. I guess that's pretty good. We now go into Typhon. Triggering the Promethean Princess, the ultimate counter for... This is not looking good for stun. As the Garura now gets to draw nothing. Oh my goodness. Barrier Statue can't kill anything. The Iron Thunder can... Probably the Promethean is going to be used on it. Oh, we're not even summoning that thing. We can't. We Typhoned. Ain't no way. Okay, Maxi is now being used aggressively against us as we have the Nightmare Phoenix, which will actually also draw a card, destroying the entire column if you were to use Iron Thunder on it. Bro, you set in the same column too? This game one's rigged. I don't believe this. We gotta go game 2, like right away, like now. Okay. Nah, this is not real. Lethal damage. I mean, to be fair, we knew we'd lose. It's not like we made a play that then caused us to lose an otherwise winnable. Wow. Wow. Some things are happening that are not supposed to be happening here. What is this? Time tearing. That's it. That's it. That's it, man. All right. We keep the crackdown in hand. Get ready. Now with the clockwork, now the lingering effect is forever showing the time-tearing Morganite. That's quite interesting. And what's going to happen is we now can't summon a sequence. We can't summon into a Requiem because everything is a machine. We have Wanted Seeker searching for our Diablo Star. We know to play around Super Poly. We know we got hit by that earlier. How can we ensure we do not get Super Poly'd? Poplar on summon, searching for the Divine Temple. We're going to link this up into a Nightmare Phoenix. On summon, discard to get poppin'. That hurts. That hurts. We can't even stop that. Freaking hurts. As we're going to search for a Hollow Nezamina. Remember, we have to one-turn kill. Anything but one-turn killing is not enough. With the time-tearing drawing 2 every turn, there's no way, right? We have Subversion, which is ready for a next turn Fossil Dyna to push it into the back row. TTK's deck was built in ready for this matchup. We're going to Super Poly, fuse away their bodies into a Garura. The Sylvia cannot negate the Super Poly. Poplar is equipping itself into the back row. Wanted Seeker is going to top deck the best card you've ever seen as we rip into... No, it didn't. We're going to push away that Garura into the back row. Damn, I mean, it's over, right? It's over. We're going to draw 2 cards every single turn. We don't even have the Subversion to push back a stun monster anymore. If the monster is at least 1100 or higher, it's going to be bigger than the Risalago. Uh-oh. Solemn, no body, no monster. What? Why are you not drawing monsters? Okay, Iron Thunder is ready alongside Solemn Strike to negate and destroy 2 monster effects in the field. Will probably be the best play to use them on, right? Okay, 6,500 life. They're all getting reduced by Clockwork, but then getting boosted by the Divine Temple. Masquerina, we can negate a summon with Solemn Strike. Do we Solemn Strike the Promethean Princess, which would then make it an illegally summoned body, not rebornable from Engrave, even though we wouldn't really have a way to trigger its effect. Looks like we are doing that. Negated summon. TTK knows to summon the cards in the same column as the back row, and even though there was no real choice of the Promethean, but we did see that play earlier as he was doing that correctly. Iron Thunder cannot be negated by a Sylvia play, even though we have a Risalago here. Risalago, searching for the Deception Sinful. I mean, we're keeping them at bay. We got another draw too, okay? This is big. We need a monster. We need a monster. Oh, we got a monster. Barrier Statue is going to be 1,500 attack or 1,500 defense. What do we do with this? It's going to suicide into Risalago next turn. We have no protection for it. Holy crap, it's in D. Listen, I think I agree with this. I think I do. I think so. They're going to check with the 1,500, and then it's going to be a big surprise. Yup. Yeah, there you go. Wait, are you not boosted? Machine, gain, what? Wait, what did I miss? Why? Clockwork? Gain 500 attack and defense? It's face up when you attack into it. Oh my gosh! Monsters your opponent control lose 500 attack and defense. What the? It canceled out the Clockwork. We're screwed. We can draw again. Oh my gosh, that's dead. Wow. Clockwork is canceled out. But TTK still has no plays. I can't summon the sphere mode. And if we set the Iron Thunder, we lock up our back row from any other card that may be good that we want to activate. We do it anyway. Holy crap, what is going on? Can we even afford to strike that? We're at 2,000 life. 500 life. Holy moly. What are you doing? Why you draw no monster? Inspector Border. What? You lost to a Rasalago? A bat? Wow. 2-0'd. That is insane. You drew how many cards off of the Time-Tearing Orcanite? Was it like 8 cards? I mean, if we're not counting the initial draw, but damn, Time-Tearing gave us so many additional cards and you just couldn't freaking draw it. That is unfreaking believable. Wow. Good job to TTK. Everyone's got to put their Phoenix back in the extra deck. Yup. And no, you don't want Sylvia. You want Rasalago beatdown. Get reducing on their attack and defense. That's insane. She could have easily just reduced attack, but attack and defense? No way. What is going on with the meta here? People are resorting to stun in the meta weekly because Snake Eye Fiendsmith is dominating. What the heck? The Fiendsmith deck type here, I believe, we're going back and forth between it being called Bestial or Bestial Fiendsmith or just Fiendsmith. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be upset about it being called Fiendsmith. I don't know, but any suggestions on what we could all agree on, what we could call the Fiendsmith Bestial decks? So let's see. Starting off with tier limit. Justinian. Well, Kick Cal's banned in the TCG and OCG. It's got to be for a good reason, and Justinian is exploring that reason by doing well with tier limit. I think a card I'll be looking out for today is going to be the Retaliating Sea. When a spell card's activated that could special summon, you get to summon this onto the field, and any card sent to the grave is banished instead. A great way to counter Snake Eye Fiendsmith. And with our tournament being no side deck, you know what cards are worth main decking for the ladder. And I would say that this is going to be one of them. It's a normal rarity. It's a low investment to just try it out if you're playing against a bunch of Snake Eye Fiendsmith. What else? Math Mech. We have Muhammad Salam, 40 cards. Looking good. I don't see if there's anything crazy here. Good job to you. I mean, this won the MCS, so why not? Whip it out, and we did. Yubel Fiendsmith. I don't think it's about this deck underperforming. It's about anyone who would want to play Yubel Fiendsmith would be playing Snake Eye Fiendsmith instead. I mean, I think it's closely behind Snake Eye Fiendsmith, but then why play this over Snake Eye Fiendsmith? Snake Eye Fiendsmith is just way too broken. This is, I would say, the second best deck nonetheless, though. But the Fiendsmith and or Bestial version of Fiendsmith, that seems quite interesting. I got to look more into that. Infernoble Knight. FM Productions. Retaliating Sea in the main deck. Definitely want to take note of that. 60 cards, playing tier limits, and let's see, the extra deck. Good job to you. Very nice. It's pretty cool that the Dempsey can trigger the Sharon. I wasn't too aware of that. Nice. And then we have Magical Musket. This, among 100 different deck types, are going to become a lot more playable, a lot better, so much more Master 1, a way more diverse ladder once Lacrima comes out. And it is not the Fusion, it's the Crimson Tier Lacrima. So just remember me saying that. So if you are not playing Master Duel right now because you're sick of Snake Eye Fiendsmith or whatever you're sick of in game, come back for her. She will be waiting for you. And nonetheless, did well enough with this. Good job, Amidamaru. Let's see what else is good. Heroes, Grand Magus, 40 cards. We are squeezing it in. We did it. We got Dark Ruler, Droplet, still having enough room for the Ash and Maxi. There's no way we have room for the Fool Loss. We just can't fit it in. And Dark Ruler sometimes puts in a ton of work. We've seen it negating up to 8 disruptions in one activation. That is crazy. Good job. Stun, second place. If you're having a bad day, I guess this is the way. And Diavolo, if you look at Diavolo's profile, which we did within the tournament, normally does not play stun. But if you want to be countering Snake Eye and Fiendsmith, then you got great cards like the D-Fissure, Necrovalley, Shifter. The Clockwork Knight is ensuring that they can't summon a Requiem. So because they're required to have a light fiend on the field. This also stops a sequence play. So this is even, in addition to reducing their monster but boosting up yours, puts in a ton of work. No one's properly playing around the Iron Thunder. If you don't know what that means, you got to watch the gameplay where I talk about it, where you got to play around this or you're going to lose. So good job, Diavolo. And as you can see, well-accomplished player. Normally is not stunning unless you consider using Artifact Scythe. All right. We have Tempai Dragon is not done. We got pure Tempai Dragon here. Looking good, looking standard. Good job, Shankers. And then we have TS Vac, a different way to play the deck. This is very interesting. Card Scanner? Like, what? I wish I had more to say about this. This is just wild. We got the engage into the Hornet Drones play, card scanning to draw an additional card. We play so many spells, so if we call spell, we get, there you go, a +1. Burning draws in here. Things are getting quite crazy. So there you go. If you want to use your new Sky Striker cards, it looks like Tempai is going to be the best way to play Sky Striker. We also have Fiendsmith. I'm expecting both of these decks to be so wildly different. So it's not fair to compare it to the performance of Yubel Fiendsmith, but I'm speaking ahead of myself here. I'm only guessing. Zeus. This is what I wanted to see. I said I would count the hand traps in Zeus's deck, and let's do it. 3, 5, 7, 10, 11, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I predicted 25. I was wrong by 2. Holy shite. Zeus, good job to you. Phantasme, that's pretty funny. Helping you draw into your other hand traps, making your deck even more consistent. They do have to link summon, though. Best decks are link summoning. Good job, Zeus. I want to try this out. This just seems like a good time. If you're sick of waiting 10 to 20 minutes because your opponent's forcing you through an unskippable cutscene, well, instead of complaining about it, Zeus is just playing 27 hand traps. There you go. Gargolo. Is this similar? We're not playing the Kashtiras up in here. Okay, quite interesting. We got the Steam the Cloak. We had, Tour Guide in this one instead? Yep, Tour Guide instead of Steam the Cloak. I think I mixed up the players here. Gargolo, so I guess these are similar enough. And for now, we're calling this Fiendsmith. Would you like for us to call it Bestial Fiendsmith? Or you could just see within the engine that it is playing that anyway. You could kind of see here. There you go. This is what they're playing. I got to fix that, though. I think the content manager made this. I got to remove that Fiendsmith's playing Fiendsmith. Obviously, it's doing that. That's okay. We'll fix that. And, okay. Yep. Let's keep on going. And then Snake Eye Fiendsmith, first place Titacon, is actually playing the deck a little bit differently than other players. Already 46 cards. Not everyone's playing the Birch. Not everyone's playing Fenrir, Unicorn, which we've seen Titacon break absolutely massive fields of tons of disruption with just having a Fenrir plus other cards with no other board breakers. And that was a sight to behold. That was great. Make sure you check that out. I think it was in the top 16. Here is the extra deck. playing Phoenix and Wolf, which is not what everyone is playing. No Caesar in this extra deck. That is quite interesting. Very well done. Good job to you. No Doom Dragon. Let's see the other Mad Lads. Shadow, 41 cards. More Subversion. We got Droll maxed out here. Sure. What else is good? Here is the extra deck. Doom Dragon, Desiree is going to be better than Caesar against board breakers. If more and more people are trying to break your board, especially with something like Triple Tactics Talent, then one less disruption and playing into a Nibiru is better than getting wiped out by a board breaker, I guess. Mugiwara, looking nice. Yup. And then here is the extra deck. Wow, I mean, Desiree stocks are going up even after I leaned on the side within my guide of playing Caesar over Desiree, but I still made sure to include in the video the way optimally to summon a Desiree. And so, sure, copy one of these if you'd like. Looking good. Mugiwara. EMGH. More Desiree. Holy moly, we are off of Caesar. What is going on? That's wild. Maybe Caesar's getting subversioned, right? I mean, that's would feel really freaking bad if my Caesar got subversioned that they searched for. I think I would probably stop playing Caesar after that. That's got to be what happened. Damn, it's getting wild. So EMG, good job. There's the extra deck, and then Wado. We are on Caesar with Doom Dragon. Good job, Wado. And I'd like to know, was your Caesar getting Subversion, Triple Tactics Talented? What was going on? And there you go. Those are all of the lists. We'll check out the tier list update, even though it is a combination of all community tournaments. The Snake Eye Fire King is just like hanging on. Even though within my own events, it's not doing too well, but in other community events, not too many though. This was incorrectly submitted as Maxi being at 3. That's why it's incorrectly showing it's banned. It's just a little bug with the website, but these 3 recent tops, and then it also being in super top tier right before the release of the new cards. That's why it's just hanging on to the tier list a bit. It will be falling off. It may be settling at tier 3 if it gets even more tops. I do think Snake Eye Fiendsmith is way better, and I think most players that were playing Snake Eye Fire King, they agree. As you can see their history, they've all moved on. And there you go. Good job to everyone in the tournament. Hopefully Snake Eye and possibly Ubel receive some hits this week. Even if you go, what the heck, Ubel didn't do that well in your tournament. Do you really want them to just hit Snake Eye, then all those Snake Eye players just switch to Ubel? What about some preemptive measures here, some foresight on what every top player will do? A deck could just be 1% better for everyone to play that deck over the next one. So if this is, let's say, a power level of 9,000 and this is 8,999, we should probably hit this at the same time instead of that happening, right? Now, thank you very much. That is the tournament. We are out.